Weather Alert. I'm meteorologist Sarah Robleski with executive weather producer Terry Ellison, and we are tracking downpours, flooding concerns, and potentially also some embedded thunderstorms that could have led to some damage out there today.
Yeah, it was a raucous morning this morning.
Yeah.
A lot of the flash flood warnings from, say, the northern Worcester County area, parts of Middlesex County, and then down towards southeastern Mass. And we just got a report from Shirley that there may have been some sort of a microburst. We're investigating that. A lot of trees down. So busy morning, and we're not completely done just yet. Let's take a look at live radar, and you'll see that a lot of the big yellows and oranges are gone, so that's good. But we're left with some showers across eastern Mass. You were just noting a little bit of a downpour near the Vineyard, and that last line to the west there.
Yeah, that's the line of the cold front that will finally push on through. It actually will drop some of the humidity as well, but it's that humidity that's really giving the juice to these showers and, of course, these downpours throughout the day today. But, you know, that line that we're watching, as long as it gets a little bit of sunshine, it's going to hold together, but there's just so many clouds with the showers through central and eastern parts of the state right now. It may begin to fall apart, but it looks pretty healthy to me right now.
It does look pretty decent right now, and you can see there's just a little bit of clearing, the darker areas there in western Mass, and that just a little bit of sunshine gives it a little more fuel, and so we'll see how this thing traverses the state. I think probably the best chance hits central and eastern Mass, and there's probably not much left of it.
Yeah.
So it may be at its strongest right now, but it's definitely, that's the last line we're watching, that little line out in western Mass, and we'll see, you know, how it progresses.
And there was no lightning associated with right now, but there could be a quick burst of wind with that line coming through. The winds will sort of change direction from the south to the west, so that's something that you'll notice. But as for temperatures, you can see where we had a little bit of break of sunshine. That's where it's the warmest, pretty much, at 80 in Keene. But today has been one of those days when you're stuck under the clouds. Temperatures don't really
Exactly.
rebound.
The temperature is basically almost the same as the dew points. So when that happens, you know the air is just full of moisture from top to bottom. We're just wringing it out this morning. So these dew points are in the tropical zone, essentially. You don't get much thicker air than we have right here. So
you feel it when you step outside.
Absolutely feel it. And the good news is, look back towards western Mass. Behind the front, you can see we're dropping into the 60s for dew points, and that's probably where we're headed tomorrow. So there is better weather on the way, or more comfortable weather on the way. But look at that stream of moisture coming all the way up the East Coast. Like, literally, this is coming straight from the tropics.
Yeah, I mean, this is the water vapor loop. It's sort of a tool that meteorologists use to sort of see the invisible gas in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere and just how moisture transports. And you can see we've got those darker shades of green as well as white. That is that moisture that is just continuing to push northward, why the dew points are so high, and what's also the energy fueling those showers that we had earlier today, and hence why we had these downpours that dropped a significant amount of rain in a very short period of time.
Yeah, you can see two distinct sort of bands of heavy rain. That first one happened this morning. Maybe if you were commuting north and west of the city, you were in the downpours. Parts of the area up there got over 4 inches, and then a little bit later on, that secondary band formed over southeastern parts of the state and almost dumped as much as the earlier one did. And of course, Boston,
right in the middle.
It's crazy. Boston, everybody else is sort of ditching the drought, and Boston just cannot get a good rainstorm here. We're again right in the middle of all the action. But look at these numbers from today, sort of similar. So last week we had between 4 and 6 inches, maybe a little bit more in a few spots out in like Belchertown and some of these towns like Worcester area. And we're doing it all over again. That area has been absolutely inundated with rain over the last 7 days or so.
I mean, they quickly went to a surplus for the year for rainfall totals.
Yeah, in Worcester County, we're literally above normal for the year, whereas in Boston, we're still some 8 inches or so below. Very, very unusual, but we will see this all moving out of here tonight. You can see it quickly. That line in western Mass, this is one particular model. By 6 o'clock, it shows it's sort of approaching eastern Mass, but it's in pieces, and it's not anywhere near as strong as it was. That's why we kind of figure that's the way it's going to go tonight. And then we'll just sort of ease into tonight, some clearing. The Monday drearies are all over, and we get a nice kind of couple days ahead.
Yeah, tomorrow looks to bring back the sunshine and a drop in humidity, so it's a great day to get outside. But we were just talking about this drought monitor. Of course, this will get updated on Thursday, so we'll take into account the rainfall from today. So we're likely going to see even bigger improvements for Worcester County and other parts of the area. But Boston, I mean, it is just incredible.
Yeah, I think we'll see a pretty big drastic improvement here. For a lot of the areas of moderate drought there, that lighter beige color may start to go away. and it's just now just spotty, like the city of Boston down towards like the Cape Cod Canal. There's some spotty areas that are still lingering, but that's how summer goes. You don't necessarily get uniform rain everywhere, you get heavier in spots. So at any rate, tonight the storms are ending and humidity's dropping. So would you say it's an open the windows kind of night tonight?
Yeah,
getting there.
It's getting there. I mean, temperatures will be dropping back into the 60s, which will be a nice change. And I think it will be nice to give your ACs a little bit of a break tomorrow. Now, it will get pretty warm. I think we'll climb into the low, potentially mid 80s out there. One thing about tomorrow, too, it's the last day that we have sunsets.
Oh, you had to go there.
I know,
yes.
After 8 o'clock.
We'll get to that. 8 p.m. sunset.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Bigger picture, cold front moving through, and just, again, lots of clear skies, basically mountaintop to seashore tomorrow. Wednesday, a few more clouds come on in as the high sort of drifts off, but I think we'll probably still remain dry.
I mean, this was a big change from last week when I was forecasting. That high wasn't as strong, and it was allowing for that front to really be near our area, bringing in more rounds of showers and clouds. So this is a pleasant change from last week to see that we have sunshine on tap for tomorrow, and as well as mainly dry weather for our Wednesday.
You're going to head down to the Pats training camp tomorrow? Have you been down with the kids?
I have not with the kids. I think they would love it. I think it's going to be a great day tomorrow.
Yeah, there's been a lot. They've had a lot of greats. Obviously, today was moved inside, but I think tomorrow's a great day for it. I think the next one isn't until later in the week, maybe on Friday. So tomorrow might be one of the last chances this week to get out and great morning tomorrow. Again, the humidity low. And same thing for the Sox. Things are looking good, albeit a little bit warmer and more humid as the week goes on.
Yeah, I think we're going to bring back the chances of a few pop-up shower storms, and we're also going to notice an increase in humidity. And with the temperatures on the rise, that means our heat index values, or what it feels like outside, will also be jumping up.
Yeah, so basically the story for the end of the week is a cold front off to the north and west, and it's not really moving too fast. So we're sort of just in this mild, soupy air mass, the air coming straight up from, again, the tropics or southeastern United States and just flooding in here. And this model shows a lot of green. It's not going to be
more scattered.
Right. It'll definitely be we're talking scattered showers and storms each afternoon, but the coverage will not nearly be what it is there. But nonetheless, you're going to feel the dew points back in the 70s come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and temperatures up near 90, like you said.
It's going to feel like Florida weather, right? Where you're going to feel that. There will be that chance of a pop-up shower downpour in the afternoon, and that will continue potentially right into the weekend.
Yeah, I think definitely Saturday looks soupy and perhaps stormy. Sunday, we'll see if that front gets through here or not. It may just wash out on top of us. And again, the whole weekend is not a washout. There's a lot of green on that map. More just talking about how it's going to be unstable and very juicy. You can see the dew points popping up again. Top of the charts.
Yeah,
really.
back to the mid 70s on, starting on Thursday, continuing Friday, potentially into Saturday as well.
Yeah, so this is August. I feel like if there's a month that's typically the most humid, I feel like August, dog days of summer kind of stuff. So we're going to be in for definitely a stretch here of several days in a row with high humidity, and then again, temperatures near 90. We're starting to get heat indices closing in on 100 later this week.
Yeah, we're going to be watching, especially from Thursday, Friday. People that have some sort of concerns have trouble with the heat index values close to 100. That's something that you want to just take precautions for.
Not as dramatic. So we had a couple stretches this year. One was in June, one was in July, where we had temperatures like surging into the mid to upper 90s and dew points. So that's when the heat indices were like 110. So we're not going to be there.
No.
This is more of just regular heat around 90 with the humidity. So we're not going back to where we were earlier this year, but nonetheless, definitely going to feel like pea soup outside. And the pattern is sort of here to stay for the most part for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're building heat, which is interesting because typically for August, we actually have average highs in the lower 80s. So we are going to be above average as we start off this first week of August. And you can see the temperature outlook, because we've got that heat dome setting up, we expect to see above average temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days. Now you go past that and we may start to see some improvement, but of course that's mid.
Yeah, that's a ways off, and that may be more to do with more rainfall in the forecast. So it may not be necessarily a whole lot cooler. It may just be more moist and more humid, and that's sort of the starts. The first signs we've seen of El Nino.
Yeah.
We're making that transition from the hot, dry start to the summer and the dry spring we had to now more of a more humid and wet stretch. We've had a bunch of big rainfalls lately, and that's a definite sign of an oncoming El Nino, which will be, big factor as we go into the fall here as well.
Of course.
So precipitation, again, over the next 6 to 10 days, still on the high side. But here we go. It's the second day of August. You know, we're first day on the air here after the weekend, and figured we'd get you caught up on what to expect.
Yeah, as I mentioned, average highs are typically in the lower 80s, but they do drop back into the 70s by the end of the month. I already sort of let it out that tomorrow is the last 8 p.m. sunset. We lose a lot of daylight this month.
Yeah, we're talking about over an hour of daylight by the end of the month. It's this to me is like, I don't know. August, it's like by the end of the month we'll be talking about pumpkin spice lattes. To me, it's a transition month.
You love pumpkin spice, though.
I do, but I don't know. I do, yes, but no, I don't know.
You're not going to welcome that?
You're right. Shame on me for even saying it. What am I thinking? And also the tropics. Nothing going right now in the tropics, but we will start to see that. You know.
They usually start to peak in early September, but you start to see things get going towards the end of August.
Yeah, so here's the major bummer that Sarah's been hinting at all along.
Sorry about that.
Tomorrow, sunrise at 5:40, setting at 8 o'clock, and it's all downhill from there. By the end of August, we're approaching even the early 7 o'clock window. So those late night walks after work when you get home, you know, we're going to start to get a little earlier and cut them off a little earlier. You know, major bummer for me for the end of summer. That's a sure sign. But certainly there's nothing, end of summer on the 7-day. We're talking basically high 80s, low 90s, right, for the entire stretch.
Yeah, and very humid conditions. And a typical summer pattern where you're going to have an eye to the sky for those pop-up shower storms Thursday through at least the weekend. Won't be complete washout, but it's just something that you have to remember as you head out the door in the morning that, oh yeah, in the afternoon we could be dealing with this passing shower.
Yeah, so again, don't be bummed out by the weekend. That we have a chance of thunderstorms here Friday, Saturday. You saw it on the other maps, but again, I do think it's probably more of a daily afternoon heating of the day, humidity getting wrung out, and they're probably quick in and out. And so no major sort of prolonged rain like we had this morning, but nonetheless, very humid stretch coming up here, and it's hard to believe we're already into August.
Yeah, so enjoy tomorrow. That's what I would say. We've got sunshine, lower humidity. It should be a really great day.
Yeah, we can take the day off, right? No weather tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Anyhow, Sarah's going to be on tonight at 5 and 6. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll have the very latest on that final line of thunderstorms coming through here in just a little bit.
All right, thank you so much.